Hi guys, good morning. It's Emily here from Crafty Emily, here to do my weekly Flosstube update. It is Thursday morning, the 15th of May, so I am a day over, but we're within our time frame here. I'm off today. Well, I didn't film yesterday because I was on an early, and then I had my boy yesterday afternoon and evening, and so I'm doing it this morning, and that's okay. Right, so you know when you do, those of you who Flosstube and you gather up your stuff and you think, don't feel like I've done very much. I feel like I've been plugging away at the same few pieces. Total heads up, I'm feeling, there's voices. I've got the conservatory door open and there's voices. I hope it's not annoying you. It's annoying me. There's people out there, but I need it open because it's cold. Oh, there's never anybody in next door's garden. I'm just going to pull the door to. Hang on. Right, that's great. I just thought it would be annoying, and it was certainly annoying me hearing people. The hazards of having next door neighbours. Anyway, yeah, you know when you gather your stuff together and you go, oh, I don't think I've done anything, and then I've actually looked at it and I've got a big stack of things to show you, so I'm going to do that. So last week, not such a big stitchy week. I have a big stiff on my finger, which is trying to get better. Caught it on a milk dolly. You know, when you go to the supermarket and the milk's in those metal wheelie things, they are the worst things in the world to roll. They don't go in the direction you want them to. The wheels are always broken on them. And I clicked two together and my finger was stuck, and it took a chunk of my digit out. So apologise for that. It's getting better. Not impeded my stitching at all, which is good. Okay, so for last week, yeah, I did a few shifts at work since I've last spoken to you. 5,294 for the week. I could probably have done a lot more than that, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to nap. Sometimes you've got to just watch some mindless telly. Year to date now, we're at 119,142. So we're trucking along. So last week, I've been playing catch up with myself. So by that, I mean I've been working on two of my outstanding whip go that didn't get finished in the month they were meant to. I think I'm probably going to be carrying over one, maybe two projects from this month. I haven't even picked up meditation yet. And okay, and when I do pick up meditation, I'm probably going to truck through quite quickly, but maybe not 3,500 stitches, but we'll just have to wait and see how I do, because right now I've not even put a stitch into it for May's stitching. And it is the middle of the month, so I probably should do that. Treasure Hunt bookshelf, still stitching on it every day. It's still just stitching black. We are at 38,000 black stitches, so since I decided to stitch black, I think I've done about 4,000 stitches. Presently I'm here. Yeah, some of you may or may not. It's Nowheresville. Basically, that is only when you put it up to the camera, there is a perfect circle there. I wonder what goes in there. That's not what I'm doing today. There's a Chinese lantern there and two origami swans. Oh, that might be a star. That's a star. That's an origami swan. There's another one. Oh yeah, there's the other one. So anyway, the black, I am nearly at the point where I'm going to move down, because obviously this corner, which is the far right hand corner, is completely finished. There are no black stitches to do there. So I've got the bit in my Q-snap here, and then I will move my Q-snap so that I can reach all of the black, and there's not much over here. And then we're going down. And we're going to go down and we're going to see what black is down here. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back the way I came, which will eventually meet up with the book with the fox. So I'm going to keep doing black for now, and this middle section here has not been touched. Look, it's completely clear. I mean, it's filthy, but this piece of fabric here has got no stitching in it at all. So from the knight to the fox, who is hanging out just there, there's not much. So there's obviously going to be black stitching in this. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm stitching all the black stitching within my frame, and then I move the Q-snap along a bit, and I carry on that way. Just realised I made a Lakeside Needlecraft order and I've left it through there, but I'll go and grab it in a second. So Treasure Hunt bookshelf, I'm keeping going. I am stitching on it every day. I've not missed a day. I've missed 2 days this year, but I've not missed a day since I decided that I needed to pull my socks up with it. I've just found a random unfinished needle minder of the Mary Rose. I need to resin that. That can go. It slipped off my. I need to put resin on this pile. That of course was balanced on the sofa, and I need this big purple box to pack an order up into. I'm just trying to sort my stuff because my stuff's under that, of course, because everything's already fallen on top of my stitching. Right, we'll carry on. So I'm just keeping going. I'll just keep showing you where I am and tell you how many stitches I've put in it, because I'm just stitching black. Nothing exciting is emerging. But I've gone from 42 down to 38,000 stitches, and that's brilliant. I'm just going to keep on going. Right, the second thing I'm playing catch up with, I can show you a picture of the Amazing Animal Kingdom, which is a carryover, and this is where it was the last time I filmed. I've put in 658 stitches into this since then. I'm trying to put in 120 stitches a day. However, twice last week, like yesterday's one of the days, and once last week I didn't stitch on it. So we may or may not do it this month. More likely we'll get it out of the way next month. It's now here, and I'm currently stitching 640 because there's an awful lot of 640 in this gap. I've done some of these browns here. I was working on this orange, I think, last week. I've done some of this orange. I've put in this bit here, I think, and now I'm doing 640, which is here, and then it comes this way. So I'm just putting stitches into this, trying to do 120 a day. I got 130 a couple of times, so I'm keeping going. I'm going to keep this out until the stitches are in it, but I am trying to catch up. I'm trying. My other catch-up project, Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, from last month. Last time I filmed it looked like this. I have put in 469 stitches into it last week, and now it looks like this. So we've now got, I think, these pumpkins up here and the tendrils. I've done I've done the dark colour of these two pumpkins. The contrast is maybe a bit more than I would have chosen had I chosen more carefully, but you know, it's fine. And I've put in one leaf here, the outline of the leaf, and it's got some veins in it which I will do in the brown, and then I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Oh, and I put in some of the stake, the darker of the browns that hold the scarecrow. The scarecrow's on a stake, obviously. He's not a freestanding guy, he's on a stake. So I've put in some of that because I had some brown left over on my needle. So there we go, that's him. 469. And now we're on to this month's Whip Go pieces, of which I've got, Peaceful Street has come along a lot. I've really concentrated this week on Peaceful Street and the Autumn Fox. Now, both of which I want to finish this month, and both of which I'm reasonably positive will get finished this month. Peaceful Street will be first because I think I'm nearly there now. It's a paper pattern. I'm counting my stitches, but I don't know how many I've got left to go. When I finish it, it will be done. Last time I filmed it looked like this, and this week it looks like this. I need something behind it. Let's use my Pole Stitches fabric because I don't think I'm ever going to stitch on it. I'm never going to stitch on this poor fabric. So I completely finished. Any outstanding stitches in the sky, in the floor, in this section here. I think I had a couple of stitches left in these two buildings. I finished that so I could roll my frame. So it's now rolled up there. And then I finished off the tree, and I finished off the railings and the bench, and there is backstitch. I had a one traily thread of backstitch thread that had gone all fluffy and horrible. It looks like it's done in 2 strands. It's not, it's just a really old strand, but I just used it up. So finished the gate. I did some of the backstitch on the little lantern. I did one of my French knots. The other side's not been done yet because my thread ran out. And then I did join on one more thread, and I've done some of the backstitch of the metal, the wrought iron fence here. And then I got on with these are the last 2 houses. I think that might be the end. I think that might be the edge there. So I've got bits of this one to fill in, and I've got the bottom piece of this house. These are one stitch out. I'll have to take these windows bits out and just move them one stitch along, but that's okay. And this is one stitch too high here. There's an extra line in there because I miscounted one side, so I had to fudge it, but it's fine. And I think we're very nearly there on Peaceful Street, which is really good because it's a very old project. I want it done, it will be finished, and then it can go in my finish box, and it's a finished whip. Off the books. Peaceful Street will be done. I'm really hoping it will be done by next video, but we will see. I don't know how fine I'm going to run to the end of the month here. We'll find out. And then we've got Autumn Fox, which is a beautiful piece. I will put up its cover sheet here so you can see who it's by and what have you. I bought it from Etsy. Lovely PDF, loaded straight into Pattern Keeper. I might have had to input the thread numbers, but you know what? That is not a problem. There's only like 7 or 8 colours in it anyway. And I was completing the black. So the last time I filmed, it looked like this here. Completing on the black there. And I did indeed complete all the black. And I've started on the 712 now. So it now looks like this. Isn't he fabulous? I'd have got more done on this yesterday, except my 3 or 4 strands that I had with me vanished. I assume they're on the floor at work or in my locker at work. They must have come out when I ratched for my car keys. They were just tucked under. They were tucked under there, and they must have just come loose or just stuck to something. And so I could only finish the thread I had because I went and sat at my mum's and waited for Austin to finish school. So I was at my mum's for 3/4 of an hour, and I could have done quite a good number of stitches. As it was, I could only finish what I had on my needle because my mum has some DMCs, but asking her for a specific number, yeah, no. She's like, well, this is cream, you could use this. And I'm like, I need 712. And she's like, yeah, there's something wrong with you. Are you okay? She's like, oh, I'm just pleased you're still stitching, because she hasn't seen. I generally just grab a child and run from my mum's. You know, I don't go in very often. So she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're still stitching. I'm like, yeah, I'm still stitching. just now and then, you know, a little bit of stitching now and then I stitch. So yeah. Anyway, here's Autumn Fox. This I need to stitch about 200, between about 280 stitches a day to get it finished. But then I thought, well, I'll do 5% a day. 68 stitches is 1%. So we're talking 340 stitches is 5%. That sounds so doable, but getting 340 stitches a day, I did about just under 200 yesterday because I didn't have my thread. So I'm already playing catch up, but I would dearly like to get that done. I think it will fit perfectly into a 5x7 frame. I really think it will fit really nicely, or just the next size up maybe. I've got lots of fabric. The least amount of that fabric I need to use to frame it, the better, because I love this fabric. It's a piece of Be Stitch Me a Scotsman, and I saved every scrap I could. I did it right as tight into that corner as I could get it into look how tight it is in the Q-snap there, so that I could physically stitch on it. I literally started here so that I knew I could stitch into this corner without having to fuss. But he is as tight into this so that I can cut the fabric, get him framed, and I've got the bigger piece left because it's beautiful fabric, which I will undoubtedly want for something else. It's the best smoky blue, and its mottle is very discreet. It has the most discreet mottle on it, look, but it's so pretty. Not my sort of, you know, my fabric's bright and cheerful, and I am fabric and I am bright and I am in your face. This fabric here, for instance, is one of mine. This is subtle and beautiful and I love it. And my little Foxy Loxy looks gorgeous on it, and I will have him on my wall year round when I finish him. Peaceful Street will go in the box. Autumn Fox will be framed. Plain black frame, I've already decided. If I haven't got one, I will just go and grab just a plain, it'll just be like a lacquered frame and it'll be lovely. So that's my autumn fox. Sounds like Richard's coming down shortly. He's just getting up at the moment. So I will move things so he can come and sit in his spot without bumping into 50,000 things, which is generally what happens. Okay, so the key, I picked it up yesterday. I did put in 300 stitches yesterday, which doesn't count the key, 283 last week, so I've already done more this week than I did last week. Last time I filmed it looked like this. I've not moved the Q-snap yet, but I will do very shortly because it now looks like this. And this bit here, my completed piece is growing basically, and I'm currently on the very bright green down in this leaf here. So I just want to knock this colour out here, and then I can move the Q-snap to there and carry on with the leaves. That's all I want to do. Just fill in this leaf here, and then I can move it along a little bit. So key's coming along, and I will continue to obviously put my stitches into the key. It's so easy to stitch on. Hi honey.
Hiya.
You alright, love?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, careful. Counter. Kitchen counter. I think you'd know where it was by now. Only you could see it. Okay, and then the only other thing I've stitched on is the Tiny Modernist Sal, and I haven't done very much. 423 stitches went into this last week, and I think again I was at my mum's with it. Last time I filmed it looked like this. I just showed you the dragon that was on it, and I was doing my dragon in purple. I have stitched a little bit more on my dragon, and I think my phone is ringing. Hang on. Right, sorry about that. I had a phone call and we had to sort out an appointment with the eye lady who comes and visits. So that's fine. Yeah, so my Tiny Modernist Sal, as I say, I've been working on a few bits and bobs in it. And I think I put up a picture of what it looked like before. If I didn't, I'll put it up here. And it now looks like this. As I say, it's only had 423 stitches into it. I put some more into my dragon here, and I think I've done this bit of bunting and maybe that leaf. I think that's all it is. So not a great deal. It does look wonderful though. That looks so good. I'm really looking forward to having this finished. I might well go and get this framed. I imagine it's going to be an off size, but I'm happy to use the whole of the fabric. So it might have more of a margin. If I can buy a frame and frame it myself, that will be easier than me getting, well, it'd be a lot cheaper than me getting it custom framed. So it might be in a bigger frame that fits rather than having a custom one with exactly this much either side, as it were. We'll see, but this I want to get finished, and I will frame it because it's wonderful and I really like it. I'll have to cut matting for it though, won't I, because there's beads. Or not put the glass on. That's the other option, isn't it? Is just not use the glass. In which case I can probably custom make a frame for it myself. It's only the glass that I can't really cut. I used to work at a glass cutting place, and then I could have cut my own bits of glass. Curses, if only I'd have known. I wasn't really cross-stitching then. Okay, I was right at the end. You did catch the end of Winged Heart, didn't you? I think the people who've been with me longer. And then yesterday, I went looking for, the day before yesterday, I went looking for bits of fabric. You close your ears, Richard. I did not purchase Hague charts in the sale. I did. I bought 4 charts. Yeah. And I've written them down because I'm going to show you them. Right, so I was looking for fabric. Stick with what I'm talking about right now. I was looking for fabric and I found 2 project bags. This one and the one with the Bothy Threads kit of the 12 Days of Christmas, of which I have finished 6, almost finished the 7th, and 3/4 finished the 8th. So I've got 4 to finish, 4 and a bit to finish, and I need to get them done. So they were looking at me too, so I'm thinking maybe I should just get on and get them done too. Oh, the sun's trying to come around the corner, which is going to be in my eyes and make me go all squinty. It's doing it right now. That's very annoying. You can't see the wisteria. It's giving it a few, I gave it a few really good cans of water, and it is just, it's now blooming right to the end of its thingies. The sun's going to go in. You might get a better shot of it. You can see it right there. absolutely huge. Anyway, so I found this, and in this bag, non-Whitgo pieces are my Shannon Christine stamps, which I need to finish. And it's not that I'd forgotten about them, but I need to finish them. And that's going to be the Northwest Air Ambulance base is just behind us. So I'm pretty much assuming that that's probably the air ambulance being busy, because generally the helicopters that go over are either military or our Northwest Air Ambulance. Anyway, so my little cobble together here of the 2 Halloween tinies that I started, that I need to finish, and my What the Cat Saw, which is just this much, which is Eric, which is just this much off being done. So I found all of them, and I really need to get these done. So I'm going to leave this bag out, and I'm maybe going to put this bag as my work, the bag that stays in my work bag, and maybe just finish off these little white blighters, because that is one that isn't in Pattern Keeper because I've so nearly finished, and this is 4 Pattern Keeper pieces, because there's 2 different sets here and there's 2 different pieces on this, so that would be 4 more deleted off Pattern Keeper if I finished them. So that sounds good to me. 4 finishes sounds really good. But I do, and it'll be 5, because What the Cat Saw is a active whip. It's just not in Pattern Keeper, because when I changed my phone, I was on the wallpaper. That goes to show I've had this phone over a year. Goes to show how long I've had it, because goes to show how long I've lingered on finishing off What the Cat Saw, because I didn't put it into Pattern Keeper because I was just filling in the background wallpaper, and I've still not finished it. So I'm going to keep this little bag out. This is wonderful keys and reverse keys here, and I need to get them all done. Now, the Haid sale. I didn't even really know there was a Haid sale on. What I was hankering after was something bright and colourful, and year and a half, 2 years ago maybe, I started Blossom Park. I'm going to put a picture up here, which is a massive great Haid, but super colourful, and Andy Russell, I think it is. And I thought, oh crikey, I didn't carry on stitching on it because it's on 25 count. Now 25 count even weave it's not me, it's not my thing. I do not enjoy stitching full coverage on it. I enjoy Ada because I can stitch fast and furious. I don't have to worry about my thread slipping under. If I'm stitching on 25 count, my speed goes because it's difficult for me. Just for me, it's just one of those things. So I thought, well, I wonder if I've got a piece of 20 count that fits, that I can stitch it on. And I have. I've got Randall Spangler's Fireside Dreams, which I did like 1% on. So I might restart Blossom Park on that piece of fabric, which I already have. And then I thought, I still really, really love Hidden Harbour, which is his more famous one that lots of people have stitched and are stitching. So I've bought the mini. And I looked at the mock-up, and it's not too bad. It's not too blocky. Like an Amy Stewart, I don't think you can stitch as... You can obviously stitch them as minis. I like Max Colour Amy Stewart, proper size Max Colour, because I think that captures the detail. The super size Max Colour is obviously amazing, but you really can only logistically stitch one of those ever, I think. Unless, you know, you have much more time than I do. And I have plenty of time to stitch. So I got mini Hidden Harbour, and then I saw another little mini here. I'm going to put the picture up because I don't know who the artist is by. It's called Be Brave, and I really like it. I'm not going to start it. It's just a pattern that, because it was $6, which is like £4.70 or something, I didn't spend a lot of money. I bought the pattern. I've stashed it in my Dropbox, and it's there, but I really like it. And then I found myself, partly because the little logo is so cute for Dragon Muse, which is we know is AI. It has a little, like an old pub sign, a wooden pub sign is there. Welcome to Dragon Muse. Little icon to click to go in. And I, of course, immediately found 2 patterns that I absolutely loved. And they're big. One of them is massive, like hugely massive, but I would stitch it for Maddie. I do not have fabric. I've checked. I have got 25 count fabric that would fit it, but I do not want to stitch that many stitches in dull, dreary colours on 25 count. No, thank you. I will purchase myself a piece of 20 count, but not today. They're safe in the drop box. So this is the one that I want stitched for Maddie. It's called Bookworm and it's marvellous. And then yesterday she put out a Max Colour version, and another one that I bought has come out in Max Colour. I've got regular colour because Max Colour wasn't available until yesterday, and I bought them 3 days ago. I'm not rebuying them because then they're full price. So I'm just going to stitch standard colour for these 2 when I start them, which isn't today and isn't next week and probably isn't this year, but I've got the patterns. So I love that. And then this one I couldn't resist. It's called Clossoni. It's Clossoni Beauty, and as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. That's usually on ceramics, very, very fine wire, and then flooded with enamel or glaze to give the Clossoni, I think it's called. Anyway, it's beautiful. I love the piece, and I'm happy to stitch it in standard colour because Max Colour was not. I totally would have bought Max Colour had the Max Colours been available, but I'm not rebuying patterns I just bought 2 days ago, so not happening. Anyway, so I did somehow manage to buy myself 4 patterns, but they're safe in the drop box, and he's not reacting. That's good. That's good. But I will restart Blossom Park, and I will start Mini Hidden Harbour at some point. I've got so much to stitch. I just, every now and again you just get that little itch to do something different, but that's fine. Kofi wise, thank you for all the orders I've had. I am packing Kofi orders today. Going to drop off the first batch today, and then packing more Kofi orders to drop off probably tomorrow. So they will all be in the post very, very shortly. I've got bags. These are the ones I've actually done into the squares. So I've got some bags, they're needing binding, only needing binding. So I'm getting there with my bags. I've done 2 sizes of bags, as I said last week. So we've got tiddlers and then slightly longers, just that will take a bigger sheet of paper, that will take a whole sheet of paper in them, and then they're that little, they're at about 1 inch wider as well, 2 inches longer and 1 inch wider, around about. So it might only be 1 inch, I don't know. Anyway, I used every scrap of my fabric. I've got a fair few on the go. I've got a whole pile over there that have not yet been stitched into the square because I stitched them into a full bag before I bind. And I've got a whole pile of fabric. This is only about half of it that has been, I fixed my mum's overlocker. I watched a YouTube tutorial of how to set your tension, and I realised that at some point when the needle that does the line of stitching, I must have either changed the thread or it snapped. The needle must have snapped because the needle was in the wrong position. There's 2 needles. One of them catches the overlocker and one of them puts a line of stitching. Now, I had rethreaded the line of stitching needle. I'd put a needle in that slot. I only use the one needle. I don't need the line of stitching. I'm not using it for dressmaking. Which means you can use it to do the seam and finish the seam at the same time. It's not what I'm doing because I'm not a dressmaker per se. I make up bits and bobs, but not, I just want the overlock line. So my overlocker was not even functioning because I'd threaded up the incorrect needle, totally put it in the wrong slot. So after that, it was pretty easy to get it working properly. So these are all various pieces. This is a piece from my stash. It's a very odd piece, but it would fit one of those, oh crikey, who are they by? Where they say autumn or spring or beach or something. That would fit one of those on. That's 20 count Ada. But I've got all of these all overlocked. See, most of my pieces are going to be about that size, so we'll fit a pretty standardish sort of something on it, you know. They're not massive long dog pieces, they're not things you can stitch a carriage house sampler on, but they'll be nice little pieces for medium-sized projects. So I've got all of those, which I will at some point start dyeing. I've still got a pile to process and overlock, so I'm going to do one thing at a time. So I'm in process. Don't laugh at me. Laughing at me. I've got a whole pile of needle minders ready to resin, and these came in the post. These are what we call first day covers. So these are the day the stamps are issued. You can subscribe to Royal Mail and pay them. Like this is like subscription by post from years ago. How many years did you get first day covers?
Years.
He's got every single one of these that have been issued up until about 5 or 6 years ago. When did you stop getting them?
Yeah,
About then.
Yeah.
I'm not using all his stamps. Even though they are there looking at me, he has got a mint copy of all of these. Now, these have got postmarks on them, but as you can see, there's that set there, beautiful set. Natterjack toad, pine marten, barn owl, and a wildcat. So you get a little bit of postmark on them. They have been stamped. This set I absolutely love. There, look, they've got that. These are the they're all good luck charms. There's a black cat with a charm, and there's a shiny magpie, and that one's got the key, and there's a lucky sixpence, and yeah, they're lovely. And then I got the smiles because I really like them. Good old RSPCA set. And then I got some other Beatrix Potter ones. And I got a set of old comics, UK comics. Look at these. Dandy, Beano, Twinkle. All the ones from slightly more your era than mine, I think, yeah? A little bit. The magazines were sort of phasing out by the time I was the age to buy them. Set I'd not seen before from 2016. We've got Mist Men. Aren't they wonderful? And then I've got more Beatrix Potter stamps and even more Beatrix Potter stamps. I got 2 packs of those. And then we've got actual Just Peter Rabbit. Now this picture here in particular, this one, and it's just that one there. This I must have painted 1,000 times onto a 2.5 inch circle of glass. That is one of my PTSD. I painted that for Winged Heart so many times. The colour of their little jackets, his sisters, Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, that colour was so hard to mix. It was red, it was pink, and it was orange, and it was so hard to mix. When I used to mix the colours with the resin paint that we used to use, that was one of the hardest colours to make. I can't tell you how difficult that colour. I could never get it quite right, and then when you got it right, it was amazing. And then I got a set of Roald Dahls, which I've not seen before because they're much newer, 2012s. I rather like them. And a good old set from 2013, the Jane Austen set, which we love. So there we go. I got some new stamps, which I am going to upcycle, sadly mutilate. You can't bear me doing it. Can't see me doing it now, so that's all right. They're mint condition. All of the rest of them have got like first day cover postmarks on them. First day cover, yeah. I'll take them off. They're cards, and I will process them into needle minders. So won't be today, but it will be soon, and there'll be lots more. There'll be lots more. So that's me, I think, everybody. That's me. Needle minders of the month are made. The invoices will be coming out tomorrow, round about then. I've tried something completely new. They are stitched. Completely different. I hope you like them. I think they're incredibly cute. I will show when they're posted and people have got them. I will show you what I did. They're different, but I really like them. And it's just an idea that's been rattling around in my head. And I thought, finally, time to just have a go. And they really worked. And I'm really pleased with them. So I hope you like them. And there'll be some things the same and different in my Kofi shop as and when I get round to making things. Right, guys. I'm going to carry on. Oh, I've got a little tub here with things I've made. Thread drops. And thread drops. Which need smoothing and processing a bit. Thread drops, yeah. Look out for them. They won't be long. They won't be long getting finished and listed. I needed something small. I was going to make one for meditation. I needed a single hole thread drop for meditation, and I looked through my cutters, and I thought, what can I use? And I found my bunnies, which are just so cute. So they're just my normal kind of mixy muddle bunny with an eye, and we won't think about a shotgun hole through it, but we can hang floss off it anyway. Right, I will see you around about next week, and that'll do it. I'll see you later, guys. Have a lovely week stitching, and bye bye for now. Bye.